We are continuing our work through the Westminster Larger Catechism, specifically the questions that address the Ten Commandments and what they require of us. And we are still in the fifth commandment, the command to honor our fathers and our mothers. And as a reminder, next week is Mother's Day, so men, you've been reminded. In the Catechism, we are still on question 129, which is this: what is required of superiors towards their inferiors? And the answer is this: it is required of superiors, according to that power they receive from God and that relation wherein they stand, to love, pray for, and bless their inferiors, to instruct, counsel, and admonish them, countenancing, commending, and rewarding such as do well, and discountenancing, reproving, and chastising such as do ill, protecting. And it goes on from there, but I'm going to stop here. The thing I want us to look at and to think about this morning is this requirement to protect those who God has put under our care. If we were to take out the other things required of superiors in this answer, it would say this: it is required of superiors, according to that power which they receive from God, and in what relation wherein they stand, to protect, and so to preserve what authority God has put upon them. Or to simplify it even further, superiors owe whatever protection is required by the circumstances and is in their power to provide. And of course, the kind and the amount of protection varies depending on the relationships that are involved. The state relationship with and to its citizens requires them to protect against lawless violence of both criminals and the hostile acts of foreign foes. The church must protect its members against false teaching and all propaganda that is against the Word of God. And these are the things that destroy souls. And the head of the home must protect the family members against anything that is wrong, that can cause harm or is destructive, if it is in their power to do so. In Isaiah 1:17, we read, "Learn to do good, seek justice, correct oppression, bring justice to the fatherless, plead the widow's cause." So, since almost none of us are state authorities, we got some that are kind of close, and since only two of us are elders, so far anyway, I will bring this home to you, literally. What are we as fathers and mothers to do in light of this command? And is anything expected of older siblings? Or is it acceptable for older siblings to ask, alongside Cain, am I my brother's keeper? Am I to care for my sister? Well, to start with husbands and fathers, where we normally like to start, this is this an excuse to run out and buy a gun? As much as you would like me to say yes, it is not that easy or fun. It might include it, but it is not what is being said here. There is much more involved. We are required to protect the minds and the hearts of those who God has placed under our care. What is influencing your family? What are they listening to? What podcasts are influencing them? One could look around this room, and a shrewd observer could see some of those influences. Dads, are you protecting the hearts of your daughters? Are you watching out for those who would lead your sons astray? Are they being fed by those who would set them up to take the bait? If so, you are slacking on the job. You are not protecting them from that which would cause them harm. What about their minds? To paraphrase a wise man, are you paying a monthly fee to let Hollywood pump their septic tanks directly into your living room, or even worse, the imaginations of your children? Do you know the worldview of what your children are watching? Of your wife's favorite show? Or are you just happy that they are quiet and you are left alone? Yes, of course you should protect your family from thieves and thugs, and to be able to do so competently, and you should. But it is far less likely of a danger for them to be. That is a far less likely danger than them to have mind cancer being introduced through the flickering screen or the kid down the street. Dad, it is very likely that it was a kid down the street that provided the first dirty magazine. Are you on guard against that pattern continuing? And are you, as parents, very careful of who watches your kids? Or are you just happy to be out of the house without them on an all too infrequent date? If you're getting babysitters on Facebook Marketplace, stop it. I don't know if that's a thing, but it probably shouldn't. Moms, the TV babysitter is a thing. You're trying to get dinner on the table and the kids are crying. It is too easy to turn on the screen and let the algorithm decide what is good for your children. Just in case you've been living under a rock and haven't gotten the memo, the algorithm hates your soul and the souls of your children. And it doesn't matter how big they are or little. There is danger for the young ones, and there's also danger for those who are bigger, but still under your care. The world doesn't care which idol your people worship so long as it isn't Christ. It can be the idol of the latest and greatest toy or conservative activism. It can be the idol of education as well as hedonistic pleasures. And I have even heard rumors about sports being an idol, but it's unconfirmed. It may just be a rumor. And I have seen on Twitter an idol of reformers, cigars, scotch and all. And to be clear, the reformers themselves would have had the harshest words for those who are more concerned with the latest theological battle than living half of what you believed of the things that you argue about online. Well, since we are all too often we give our children to the unchecked screen and their hearts to the latest cute smile, and since we would rather listen to more fun history than what our wife is being fed, and since we give over our job and our obligation to those who hate our God, let us take this time to confess this and all of our other sins. So if you're able, please kneel with me, first praying silently, then together, the prayer of confession found in your bulletin.